Resume workshop. Congratulations, at this point you have finally completed your Linux training from top to the end. And you have learned so much in Linux that you should feel so confident to go ahead add all that stuff in your resume, create a nice resume, and go ahead and apply for a Linux job. So what are the things that we're going to cover in resume workshop? The first thing is how to build an impressive resume. This is what we will cover. I will bring up a sample of a resume that will go together with it. What are the things you should do in it? What are the things you should avoid? What are the keywords that we should add? We have done so many commands in this training, so many little things that matters. Sometimes we don't speak of it, but having that in your resume shows that you have done it. And of course, we're gonna structure it in a way that it will stand out to the hiring managers. So let's get into our sample resume, and I want to cover one by one, step by step, of showing you how a resume you should build. Okay, I have a sample resume here. The first thing you always have to do is put in your first name, last name. Then your address, I have it as such no place, so you put it your real address. If you are not comfortable putting your address, just put it the city and the state or the zip code if that applies to you. Then put your telephone number, of course, and then put your email address so the hiring manager or the recruiters can reach you from the phone or through the email. So this is always the first thing to start off with. Then you put in your objective. The objective clearly tells the manager that you are specifically looking for these type of job. So you could just simply type land a job in Linux. Or there are many wordings or many sentences that you could find online that will put it nicely of how to get a job in Linux, or you are looking for a system administration job in Linux capacity. So that would be objective. Some people change objective with career summary. You could do that as well. Then the next thing we have is education. Now some people add education or computer skills certifications or classes. All that stuff they add it at the end of the resume after their experience. Is that okay? Of course it is okay. Whichever way you like. I like it. I prefer this way, to have your education, which is one of the primary things that should stand out. So you put your education here, you put your college name, you put your major, which major you have done, and then of course, the degree that you have done. Let's say if you have done BBA, BA, BSc, or all different kind of bachelor's degree. Then you put your concentration or major. In this case, you will have computer information system or computer science. Even if you don't have a degree in computer information, that is perfectly fine. Don't make up any stuff. Just put what you have done and put in your major if you have done any minor, or if you have taken any classes in colleges that you think that relates to computers. That's fine. You could put those couple of classes here. And then the next section I have is computer skills. Operating system, of course, you have learned CentOS, so put it in there, which is Linux. You also know Windows, because I'm sure at this point you're working on your Windows computer, and a lot of people know a lot Windows from the get-go. Then the computer languages, we have learned Linux scripting in doing Bash scripting. If you know any other computer languages, put it out there. Some people do know Java or any other language. You could put it out there. Then networking, static IP assignment, and NIC management, traffic trace. We have covered all that in our training, so put it up there. Next section we have database. If you have any kind of experience or even exposure to the database, please put it out there. It's good to know that you, as an infrastructure or system administrator, you do need different technologies. So if you know the Microsoft Office suite also comes with Microsoft Access, I think the advanced version of it. So if you know this, you could put it out there, or if you have worked some of it on MySQL, you could put it in there. Remember, the key here is exposure. You don't have to put in that you have expertise knowledge in Microsoft SQL, even if you have seen it, the installation, or even if you know how it works, that is perfectly fine. As long as you are staying honest and putting what you know about it, this is perfect. Then the OS application, which is the operating system application, you have all those Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all the other stuff that we have learned or previously. Put it out there. There could be other fields or other skills of computers that could be added to it, and if you know those skills, go ahead and put it in there. Certification, if you have done any certification, regardless if it is computer or not, do put it here, because certification does show that you are dedicated to your field. However, you have changed your field. If you are coming into a computer field from a different field, that is perfectly fine. Then the next one is classes or courses. Any classes or any courses you have taken in your career, do mention here, and specifically mention the ones that are related to computers and Linux systems. If you have taken any classes in Linux in Udemy, put it out there. Like this one, you have taken my professional Linux class, please add that here, and do mention that you have taken the Udemy class, which was about 15 hours long, or whatever the number of hours that you have spent in that class. Mention it here, because this is something professionally done and you have learned professionally. Then we're going to get into the real thing, experience. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to experience, they think, oh my god, I don't have any experience in Linux, how I'm gonna get a job? Well, here's a good news for you. If you have done some lab work in Linux like you have done in this course, and you mentioned that, this is more than enough for those people who are looking for somewhere from 0 to 6 months or 0 to a year experience, or people who are looking for entry-level participants to come in. So it is perfect. So ask yourself a question. There is one person who doesn't have any experience in Linux, and there is another person, that is you, who does have an experience setting up a lab, going through the training, and spent so much time, and you learn all the different commands. So coming to the point, write down Linux System Lab setup and management, which you have done it. So you have done your Linux lab in this training, and you have done its management, and I'm sure you will be doing its management. You will be keep practicing. You're not just done, you'll be keep practicing. So include this. You install, configure Red Hat CentOS Linux on virtual environment, which you have done, of course. Now I'm gonna go very quickly in this list, so any line that you think that you have not done, take it out. But I'm sure, I'm 100% sure every line that I have written here, we have done it. So there's no way that you're going to take out any of it. Password management, creating files, Linux file system management, creating files directories, using a help command, utilize pipe to manage outputs. This is what you do this is what you did in your lab setup, right? You ran every day, you filters, text processing, and those are the commands that we mentioned. You compare the files using these commands. User account management, allow users sudo access, monitor users, log monitor, right? Basic shell scripts, you wrote also advanced shell scripting, such as if then, for loop, do while, case statement, all those scripts that you have run. Then set up aliases, you did it. Manage operating system network, so you did manage the Linux operating system network. We covered about assigning the IPs, we covered about how we configure the network, where are those network files are located. And of course, at the end, we have managed DNS and TP send mail. We covered all three of these. So this is what I have, the list, and I want you to take that entire list and copy and paste it in your resume. By the way, I am including this resume as part of the handout. You could download it, and then you can modify it the way you want it by putting your name, your address, your certification, your experience, and all that stuff. So if you do not have any experience in Linux where you have worked previously, It's okay. I understand this is your new field. You're coming into it. There is nothing to worry about. There are people out there who appreciate people who are honest about it, and but they have put an effort to go outside of the comfort zone, learn Linux, and then actually putting it together as their experience as for the lab. Also, for those people who have done some IT internship or IT related job, please put it out here as well. Then the other sections are all about your job, which is what your job is, your last job that you worked on, the location, anything you did, even if you did a sales job, even if you flipped the burgers in McDonald's, or you sold shoes, that is fine. Put it out there. You did work, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody works, everybody try to find ways to make money. So that is fine. That field didn't work out for you. You're trying something better for yourself. You're trying something better for your family. And to do that is that you're learning new stuff so you could go out in the market and present yourself. So this is the resume workshop I wanted to cover. And if you wanted to spend some time, go do internships as well in Linux, in IT. Don't worry about the money. Do internship for 2 months, 3 months, or whichever works for your schedule, or for your, of course, for your pocket. Work it and put it in your resume. Once you have all that in your resume, upload it, and you will see the magic.